Viral video has surfaced of a man being dragged from a United Airlines flight. Now, this video appeared late Sunday night of a passenger essentially screaming and then being dragged through an aisle off a flight from Chicago's O'Hare Airport to Louisville. Now, let me show you the video first, and then let me give you some context as to why he was actually removed. Let's take a look.
Hey, come on. Come on. There you go.
Oh, this is
busted his lip.
Oh my God, look at what you did to him. Oh my God. Oh my
Good work,
God.
guys. Good work. Way to go.
This is horrible. Oh my God.
Yeah, the police grabbed the guy.
Jesus.
He's an older doctor. He wouldn't get off the plane.
Oh my
And so they forced him off.
All right, so that's disturbing, to say the least. So, especially considering that, as far as we can tell from the video, the guy wasn't causing a problem, wasn't being disruptive. As far as we know, the guy was just sitting there, and then he just gets dragged. Disaster. So why was he dragged off this flight? Well, apparently, according to the airline, well, we overbooked the flight. Wait a minute. You overbooked the flight and then dragged this guy out. Well, he wouldn't leave. He wouldn't leave. Now, apparently, when an airline sells more tickets for a flight than it actually has seats in the planes, he usually asks people, right? Volunteers, whether or not, hey, do you want to give up your seat? We'll give you a voucher. You know, we'll put you up in a hotel room. We'll do something, right, for your inconvenience. Well, normally, that's what happens. Now, apparently, overbooking in this way is a standard industry practice, because, you know, they don't want to, they want to make sure that they fill up every seat that they can, which makes a certain amount of fiscal sense. Okay, let's be fair about that. So getting bumped, which is what they called this, which clearly that is not bumping, is it also a standard practice? Now, not having people forcibly removed, that is not standard practice, but that's what, unfortunately, what happened here. So when they realized, hey man, we are overbooked, we got to get somebody off this flight. I know. Let's get volunteers. Well, there were no volunteers. So then they had to go and basically remove this person. Well, they said, okay, we have no volunteers. Let's get the computer to draw people at random and kick them off the flight. But don't worry, we're going to give them a voucher. We're going to give them a hotel room. We're going to offer like $400 in a hotel stay. And their next flight, you know, that they already paid for, they're going to be able to get on, plus this voucher. Again, nobody volunteered, and people were getting essentially kicked off. This guy was the one who was forcibly removed. Now, this was Audrey Bridges, right, who first actually posted this video. I had a repost. Now, she captured this, and she gave reporters her account. This is according to the Courier Journal. Passengers were told at the gate that the flight was overbooked, and United, offering $400 in a hotel stay, was looking for one volunteer to take another flight to Louisville at 3 p.m. on Monday. Passengers were allowed to board the flight, Bridges said, and once the flight was filled, those in the plane were told that 4 people needed to give up their seats to stand by United employees that needed to be in Louisville on Monday for a flight. So, hey, man, we're overbooked. We need these. Obviously, our flight attendants need to have some seats. Our employees, need to have some seats. So, 4 people, you got to go. Now, passengers were also told that the flight would not take off until the United crew had seats. Now, Bridges, since nobody took the offer of $400, like, no, dude, we got places to go, people to see. I'm sorry, no. Well, the offer was increased to $800, and still nobody wanted to get off the plane. Then she said a manager came aboard the plane and said that a computer would select 4 people to be taken off the flight at random. One couple was selected first and left the airplane, she said, before the man in the video was confronted. Now look, most people might consider taking the offer. Obviously, nobody on the plane did. because they were busy. So now, why was it so important for this person in particular to stay on the plane? I mean, again, $800 in a hotel stay, that's not a bad offer. I would probably take that. I'd be like, oh, you're going to give me $800 and then put me up in a hotel for the night? I guess I can wait. But then again, it all depends on circumstances. Well, it turns out this passenger claimed to be a doctor who was returning to Louisville to take care of some of his patients in the morning. Well, if that's true, that would make sense to why he really didn't want to give up a seat. You kind of have to be there for your patients. Okay. Now, that, of course, not the real issue, whether or not the reason that he wanted to stay or go. The issue here is that when someone refused to go for a ticket that they had actually paid for, well, they bring in the police, not the local police, but more the airport security, to go and rip people off the plane, rip this guy off the plane. As you can saw, that wasn't nice. That was fairly violent. Let's get the thugs, okay? Now, later on, the man was apparently able to get back on the plane after initially being taken off. However, according to Bridges, he was bloody and seemed disoriented. You saw that in the video. I guess they cut up in his lip during the struggle, but he was allowed to get back on the plane. He rushed to the back, and according to the witness here, passengers asked to get off the plane as a medical crew came on to deal with the passenger, and then passengers were told to go back to the gate so that officials could tidy up the plane before taking off. Now, again, I don't know exactly what happened after the video, but from what I could tell, my opinion on this seems pretty messed up. And again, this is common thanks to the practice of overbooking, which again, earlier I said kind of makes a little sense from a money perspective. But when you have to employ tactics like this to save a few bucks, maybe you should question your business practice. There's no easy solution, though, to stuff like this. Whatever you do, though, I think the easy thing is to not send in the thugs to remove someone by force. Especially people who are not being disruptive. I can understand if it was somebody who was disruptive, but this guy was literally, hey, you got to go. This computer chose you at random, you got to leave. Well, no, I paid for the seat. I got patients. I got to take care of people in the morning. Can you choose somebody else? Choose somebody else. No, you need to come with us. Now we're going to rip you off this plane. And we're going to drag you down the aisle like you're some sort of animal. They seem to not care too much about their customers. This isn't somebody who tried to cause trouble. This is trouble coming to him. And see, this is the kind of situation that makes me actually very nervous to fly. I have an upcoming trip to LA. This is the stuff that I worry about. Believe it or not, I actually worry about this stuff more than the plane going down. How much control are we going to get over to these companies? I mean, it's not like people can't travel, can avoid travel. No, there are people that have to travel for work. Okay? People have deadlines. People have things that they have to take care of. They can't rely on a computer to go and make the decision whether or not you're allowed to be on this plane that you actually paid for. How much control are we going to cede to the corporations? How much more are they going to crush us in the dirt before we actually do something? As far as something goes, I don't know what that something is. But I know that in their situation, bringing in that thug to go and rip somebody off the plane is not the right thing to do. When you have to employ force for someone who didn't do anything wrong, that is not good for PR. Obviously, this is going to be a disaster for their public relations, and it's just a disaster all around. So how they're going to fix this situation, I have no idea. But maybe you can start by reviewing the policies that you yourself, your company, put forward. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent progressive media, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/TYTNation.